Hey, how's it going, Lycan Warlord?
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you may be. It's me, Lycan Warlord, the real stash. How's it going,
The
Coach?
real stash.
Already starting off salty. I'm sorry.
No, it's all good, man. You just do you. It's actually quite funny how many different, like, I don't know what you'd call it if people would say it's a gimmick or what it is, but obviously, it's not something that you glue on your face and then take off after a podcast, so it's who you are. But there are a lot of different, like, do you think it helps with, like, people clicking videos and stuff, man, having something, like, a little bit different about yourself, or?
I think that's the nature of human beings, right? There's got to be something inflammatory or attention grabbing, or, like they always say, there's no such thing as bad publicity, right? You got to have something that hooks people and brings them in. For me, I used to have a full beard, man, and I actually shaved it March of 2020. I had to go work on a refinery, and it was H2S possible, which basically just means you have to be able to put on like a respirator, like a fireman would, and you had to be clean shaven. So I started walking around, and I see people with mustaches. I'm like, oh, you know what? Let me grow a mustache out. So I started growing it out, and here we are. I have a mustache on my face. It's a labor of love. I blow dry it. I shampoo it. I take care of it. So that's pretty much it. It's just, I don't know, my little intro, I don't know where it came from. I just did it one day and it worked, and here we are. So,
It
I think ultimately,
pretty good.
there's so many things out there, Glitch. Like you got to have something that brings people in, because there's an inundation of content out there, So, I think the mustache, to your point, that it's actually on like something I've grown. It's part of my face. You know what I mean? It's not something that it's not a caricature I can just take on and take off. It is who I am. And I think that, not just having a shtick, but having something authentic behind that shtick that, really does feel like it's you that the people are getting to speak to or learn from,
Yeah, and I appreciate that, man. Like, some people, I think, do go overboard. Like, they start wearing costumes and, like, it's like clickbait to the max. But at the end of the day, man, if that's what they want to do.
I've got my Santa hat, I got my Santa hat for my Santa sack, but, I don't wear that. I wear it for Christmas, right? When I turn into Santa sack, and this is my second year doing Santa sack, and I gave away all of my Gala and Town coin and all of my NFTs that I have. And I got asked why, and I was like, well, because it's going to help other people. That's why. I don't need it in my account. Everybody thought that as like me being done with Townstar. I'm like, oh, I'm not done with Townstar. I'm currently ranked 93 right now. Okay. I'm not done with Townstar, but I've had people that are asking me to hold their NFTs for them. So I'm able to use these nicer ones than I could afford. And again, it boils down to what I've always been pushing, which is Gala's original message of we're going to change the world and help people and all this kind of stuff. They may not embody that with what they're doing, but I'm going to embody that, because that's the original message that brought me into Gala and got me staying a part of it,
So do you think it's
frankly,
like,
there's just not enough.
Yeah, sorry, man. I think there might be a delay, but do you think that it is a bit played, like, pretty much, what is it, like, pay to win?
100%.
As far as the games?
100%. Can I go full screen? Hold on one second. Let me make sure there's no nudity on my screen real quick. Just kidding. Let's go full screen with this real quick. All right. So I am floating right now. Ooh, hello. All right. So right now in my map, I have this right here. This is the Green Dragon Express. So this was, if you collected all 10 of the Miranda skin packs, they each had a dragon in there, a piece of the dragon, right? So to get that, we're talking thousands and thousands of dollars. Yeah. Now, is it extremely useful? I can sell product without needing gasoline, which, if you've ever played Townstar, that is the first thing you have to learn how to do, is get to gasoline production. So that costs money. I've got this epic water tower. I got 2 of those. That's all money. That we're talking, let's say $500 even, or $1,000. most people bought these when they were in their heyday. So I'm going off of those prices. But I also have the ornaments. Those all cost money. It's skill in a certain sense, but at the end of the day, like it's this right here even, okay? This is a legendary lumber storage. So it stores 100 lumber. They sold this in the bear market, but if this had been, this would have sold for thousands of dollars easily when it came out. And I can assure you, all the top players, if we go look at the map, top 10 right now, these players right here all have $10,000 or more dollars worth of NFTs. So, yes, it is unfortunately it's pay to win. It used to not be that bad when there were NFTs, but they weren't as overpowered as they are now. And I think that's the problem, is we've seen Townstar. Should I go into this, Glitch? Can I go into it?
You can talk about whatever you want, man.
Okay. They released problems. They said, hey, we know people are cheating. People are cheating. Right now, I'm telling you, there are people cheating and they're getting rewarded. I know this. I have my sources. Okay. I have receipts that I can't share, but I will eventually get to share them. And when I share them, it's going to reveal over half a year where Gala has been handing out rewards to people who are actively cheating. Now, what's the problem with that? Well, the problem is, instead of shutting down the game when they admitted, hey, it's broken, it's damaged, it's so unfixable that we have to actually develop a whole new version of the game, Townstar 2.0, and we should maybe focus on that. In my opinion, they should have focused on Townstar 2.0, on this Godot engine. But instead, they can't do that. Why? Because they need money. So we're going to keep pumping out FTs, all right? Keep selling them to people. The only people that are still buying FTs for Townstar are the whales. That's it. Nobody new is coming into the Townstar ecosystem and is buying these FTs because they don't have a play to earn or play and earn potential. They basically, I don't know how to say it. They don't care. Put it to you that way. It's all about money, and that's fine. Gala's a company, but then on the other hand, don't sit there and say you want to change the world. And Bitbender was doing an interview talking about, this woman in Libya on her cell phone can play a video game and earn $10 a month, and that could help her life. That woman in Libya on her cell phone is not going to be competitive in Townstar because she doesn't have the NFTs she needs to be competitive. So this whole idea where Townstar used to be, where you could actually on your cell phone play the game and earn a life-changing amount of money for you where you live, that's long gone. We're past that point now. Is it possible for that to come back? Maybe, but I doubt it. I think we're past that stage. We're dealing with millions and millions of dollars of FTs that were sold. Now, Glitch, you might be asking, what do you mean FTs? Townstar sells NFTs, don't they?
I was going to ask you, man, what FTs were and not why you weren't saying NFTs.
Well, what does NFT stand for, Glitch?
Non-fungible token.
Okay. That's correct, right? Non-fungible token. So what does the word fungible mean?
I do know what it means, man, but I can't give you just like a straight description. It pretty much just means like proven, doesn't it? Okay.
This is a Galaverse coin from Las Vegas, okay? This is a Galaverse coin from Las Vegas. If I took these and swapped them, it'd be the same thing, right? It's the same coin, right? So if I give you one and you give, we swap these back and forth left and right, day in, day and out. It's the same thing. That's fungibility. That means that if I have a dollar bill Australian and you have a dollar bill Australian, we can swap those and it's the same thing. Now, non-fungible would imply that they're not the same thing. So let's use these coins as an example. I just kissed this one. Well, now this one hasn't been kissed. So now this is a non-fungible token, right? Because this one was kissed by me and this one wasn't. There's the difference. Now, technically, they're the same thing, right? But because I added some level of uniqueness to it, it's now non-fungible. The problem is other than you could argue the Fuzzles, rest in peace, and the Vox drops, the stuff they're selling is not non-fungible. It is fungible. If I take this water tower, and you can't see it. If I take this water tower right here and I send it to you, it's going to do the exact same thing in your town as it would in my town. They're the exact same thing. They are fungible tokens. So that's the problem. You keep saying they're NFTs. Why they said they're NFTs? Because that's the buzzword. If I just walked around saying FTs, no one would know what I'm saying. But if I say NFT, yes, I've heard of those. Right. So it's.
So
I've
got a question for you then. Like with spider tanks, like you can upgrade your tank, and the idea is that once you upgrade it, you'll be able to sell it like on a third-party website like OpenSea, and then it will come with the levels that it's been upgraded to. Would that make it fungible then or not?
The idea is that you and I can do the same thing with it. Therefore, it's fungible. So that'd be my understanding of the term fungible, right? If I can take that tank and level it up and give it to you and you get those levels, great. But if it was vice versa, you could do it, level it up and send it to me. It'd be the same thing. So it's blurring a line there, I think. But at the end of the day, they're not selling them. They're not selling completely unique items. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the big thing, right? They're all the same. They're all the same item digitally until some external force is applied to them, which that comes into the player base and whether you want to play. I love the idea of that, by the way. I think that's super useful for making the ecosystem last, is allowing me to upgrade these. And then, we talk about money, right? How am I going to ROI it, right? Not invest, but I'm going to invest, right? But I think that's really where it comes down to, is you could use that argument maybe with spider tanks, but what other games do we have that are live that we could apply that to,
I think the idea is, I think the idea is that it's going to be like a broad system, really. Like I haven't heard anything about upgrading like different NFTs or FTs or whatever you want to call them for Townstar, but I'm pretty sure with Superior, Mirandus, and a lot of the other games, it's all like going to have that upgradability feature.
And that's fine. I think that's great. I think that's needed to keep the ecosystem alive. But
another question for you, man. Going back to like how it's pay to win. Like if you're not in the don't have the opportunity to pay to win, what do you think, like without your NFTs you could rank on the leaderboard? Because at the moment you receive an NFT or something, don't you, for placing in the competitions?
Yeah, right now they are giving out Ghost Card FTs. And Ghost Card is this thing they came up with. Here, we'll go full screen again. I'm going to have to, so those of you who have never played Townstar, you have to click on a blank spot on the map to be able to access your FT menu. So now I can see this. If I go to skins here, these are all Miranda skins, and you have to have one of each, one skin from each of the 10 packs to get the full 10-pack buff. They also had these ornaments that they released. They gave everybody one ornament, but until you have all 12 ornaments, you can't get any of the buffs. They have it right here. Epic Garment Specialist Fabric Plant card. So it's a ghost effect card. The idea being that it just runs in the background and gives you some sort of buff. So, for instance, Epic Great Woodlands Tree Farm card speeds up your trees. Gilded Barns Milk Barn cards. It speeds up your milk barn. Fabric Plant Specialist speeds up your fabric plants, right? So they are giving out things that could help someone, but we're talking about a minuscule amount, nothing that truly is groundbreaking. So to put more perspective on it, this dragon right here, I don't have to worry about gas production. That's the first 2, 3, 4, 5 hours of your gameplay is getting to gas production. The spare spaces that I save by not having to worry about gas production allows me to have more things on my map. it's an exponential thing. It's not just, oh, I have NFTs. It's the FTs that they give you that are extremely important. Great example. This is an epic wheat stand. They nerfed wheat stands back in, I don't know, August or something like that. So that the wheat stand, the feed mill itself requires 2 wheat instead of 1. So your base model wheat stands almost became useless at that point. So this layout that I have, I couldn't achieve without having a nicer, more expensive FT. So just these 2 alone are allowing this build to work in a way that someone without FTs wouldn't be able to. So even though they are giving out ghost cards, they're not giving you something that's really worth anything, if that's fair. If you were to go on the OpenSea market and look for what the ghost cards are going for, they're not going for much. A, the market's flooded because everybody's got them. And B, they don't do anything. And then you factor it all in to C, there's no play to earn mechanism right now. So there's really no point in spending. People were spending obscene amounts of money. When I say obscene, we're talking 5-6 figures here for some of these FTs, right? Just, that was bull market, fine. But there was also, you could earn town by playing. You can't do that right now. Supposedly it's coming back. I don't know. I'm not in the Discord.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, apparently it is coming back as far as I can tell, but obviously I don't play Town Star. Like, it's just too much of a commitment for me, man, to be like setting everything up when the competitions start. But yeah, as like I've looked at the previews for Town 2.0, and it looks like it's actually going to be pretty good, like the graphics, all that sort of stuff. But that's about as far as I know, man.
It's unrealistic to expect people to leave their computer on 24/7 to be competitive. And until they can get past that, this game won't be mainstream. This is supposed to be the crypto Farmville, right? I played Farmville back in the day. I made fake accounts on Facebook so that I could feed my main account, right? I played the shit out of Farmville. All right. I was competing against my family, my friends, and my Facebook group friends, right? There was people that I knew, actually. So there was that level of, you're going to see them tomorrow and you're going to rub it in their face that you're a higher level than them, right? This doesn't have that. And until it has that, I don't ever see these millions of users they're claiming are going to be in here. Also, more importantly, the logistics of leaving a computer on 24/7. There are people that play Townstar that literally don't have electricity at certain parts of the day. They have power sharing or something where they're at. They don't have internet 24/7. So they literally can't compete. They just can't. It's just not possible. And until we bridge that somehow by making it all run on the server, which is what Moonville is doing. Moonville is the one here on the right. It's a Townstar clone for the record. But you don't actually have, it's not running in your browser. That's the big reason why there's so much cheating in Townstar and why it ultimately is affected by FPS. So we always talk about, yeah, I saw a couple clips of Godot's engine and the FPS is great. Cool. The FPS is not about the game looking good and the FPS. The problem is that the FPS directly ties to your output. So when my FPS dips to like 15 and 20, that means that my actual town is producing less than it should be. So from a competitive standpoint, I need my FPS to be at least 30 for there not to be any negative side effects into my output. So that's really where it boils down to. It's not about, oh, it looks cool. I mean, yeah, great. It looks better. Whoop-de-doo. Like no one plays Townstar because it looks nice. You know what I mean?
I think onboard new users, though, man, it would come into account because I know for myself, I don't really like the way that town looks at the moment. And like, I actually do want to play it again once they come out with the update. I don't know if that will be a continuous thing that I want to play the game because it's not really my type of game. But yeah, like I'm looking forward to the update. And with what you were talking about before with like playing the game all day, I did notice that Gala was putting polls up on Twitter about how much time per day do you play games. So maybe they might implement something like that because all you'd really have to do for town would be to like put a timer on there for, say, 4 hours of active play and then essentially pause your town until it refreshes again.
So I had this idea, I don't even know, it was 6 months ago, 7 months ago, 8 months ago, is to make it a level playing field. To try and amend those that maybe don't have power 24/7 or don't have internet 24/7. We treat this like a real world. This is supposed to be a real world simulator to a certain extent, right? Which is why I scoffed at all the wizards and all that stuff being added in. You know, we feed to animals. We grow trees and harvest them to create wood. Like it's all like real world things built in, right? These workers are never supposed to sleep if your build is done properly. In what real world scenario do people work for 4 days straight for 24 hours and never sleep, right? So we implement a real world work structure time frame into it. So something to basically what you said. Your workers are going to work for 12 hours a day. That's it. They work for 12 hours a day. Once it's done, they all go to sleep, and you have to wait until that timer goes away. So you've got 12 hours in a 24-hour period to maximize your town. If you want to pay them overtime, you can pay them for an hour extra of overtime. Their wages are tripled, and they work half as fast, but you can get that extra time in. And I think that solves the problem of having people not having to work. You know, they can do a couple hours, then jump back off, do a couple hours, jump back off. And then when they get home from work, they can finish up and they still use up all their allotted time. I think that solves that problem. It makes it where people that can run their stuff 24/7 aren't at an advantage of people that can't. I think that's a solution, but ultimately putting it all on the server side is going to be the best solution, because we've had to switch browsers 4 times now playing Townstar to try and find the best one that doesn't dip FPS enough to where it affects your output. And that's going to be solved by server side, sure. But again, asking people to leave it on 24/7 is just unrealistic.
So for you to play the game like competitively, you do have to leave it on 24/7. Then you also have to run scripts. Is that right?
Correct. So I actually have shout out to Crypto Dude. Crypto Dude came into my Discord / my guild, and he's like, you know what? I want to make a script for the game. So the game does have an in-game auto sell. That in-game auto sell doesn't sell by Dragon, which is I find hilarious to ask people to spend $15,000 to $25,000 on FTs for their game, and you can't actually use it with their in-game auto sell. We've had auto sell working with Dragon since it came out, but I guess Townstar couldn't develop that or something. I don't know. They have an in-game auto sell in here. It's okay, but it only sells 10 items. You have a way to sell 100 items in this game, not with their auto sell. So we've had to basically, the community itself has had to come up with ways to help solve problems that we were having in the Townstar ecosystem. So my script, I press the D button on my keyboard, which you can also change to whatever button you want. I have my keybind as D. Allows me to set up my auto sell for all my items. I also have a Dragon toggle right here, which again allows me to sell with the Dragon instead of using the Express Depot, Trade Depot, or Trade Pier, Freight Pier. We also have a sell log that keeps track of everything. It's got timers, so it's giving me my output. Right now it's saying I'm making 144.61 fabric boxes per hour. It also keeps track of my ranking. It's all scripts that were put in by us, the user base. So like right now, I'm going to press this render off button, and now it's going to stop rendering the visuals on my screen, and my FPS go up. And again, FPS is dependent on my actual output ability. So the fact of the matter is I have the ability to turn off the visuals, which actually helps my game run better and ultimately makes me perform better if you think of it that way. So that's only possible, though, because this game is based in my browser. As soon as it goes to server side, like Moonville is, we won't be able to do scripts, supposedly. Now, rumor mills are rumor mills. It's possible that we will have scripts. If we can put scripts in the game, there's ways to cheat. Simple as that. So if there's no way to put a script in the new version of Townstar, then cheating will effectively be nixed.
Yeah. Well,
multi-accounting won't be, but at least that will be.
If they put in some sort of timer that you could pause, man, and had a maximum, amount of time you could play in a 24-hour block, you really wouldn't need a script, man. Because, even if they just made it 3 to 4 hours a day, and how productive can you be in that amount of time? Who's playing the game more than 4 hours a day anyway, unless if you're, 15 years old, in my opinion. And it's not 15-year-olds buying NFTs anyway, or FTs.
No. It's all whales. The only thing keeping Gala afloat right now is whales. And that's just the unfortunate truth of it. This game isn't going to pique the interest of anybody in the Fortnite generation. And that's fair. It's not exactly the most riveting game. The most exciting part of Townstar was the competitions that they had weekly. They stopped those because Benefactor didn't want to keep spending money, which is fine. But it doesn't mean that the game isn't broken, which they finally acknowledged by saying, hey, we're going to fix it. Townstar 2.0. Great. I just think they should have stopped with what they're doing now, but they couldn't. I understand why they didn't stop. That doesn't mean I don't disagree with them not stopping. If you have all this rampant cheating, you should stop the game. Simple as that.
So with Benefactor not wanting to spend money, man, like, did he state that, or is that your assumption?
I have been shown things I can't share because of the screenshots.
That's all good.
Incriminating to who's seen them, but yeah. Which is, again, it's fine. It's a business. It's about money in and money out. You're balancing it. But that was when Gala was on his decline, right? We were at this super high, and now money was way down. So,
well, I think if they wanted to save funds as far as like town or anything, like, because I've said it many times, man, it wasn't a very popular opinion to begin with, but I never liked the idea of, I don't like the idea of other nodes for games, and I also don't like the idea of game tokens for, like, to be game specific, you know what I mean? Like, I think it should have just always been Gala, the Gala token and the Gala node, what runs the whole ecosystem.
Yeah, I didn't buy a Townstar node. I feel horrible for anyone that did. There's been a lot of questionable things done for the sake of experimentation, I guess. I'm not a tokenomics guy. I understand the fundamentals of economy, I guess, but yeah, I've always tried to steer from that because I don't play games for that. I play games because I enjoy them. And as long as I'm enjoying whatever product it is, I'm going to keep playing it. This whole journey I've been on it started with Townstar, right? And that's still one of the main things, but I never, you're not going to see a video from me going, you can earn this much crypto in this amount of time at this game. That's not what I do. The only thing I do that's close to that is Cointoply and freebitcoin.io, which I have videos on, by the way, if you guys want to check it out. I got referral codes in there. But you get free Bitcoins, you get free Satoshis just by clicking a little thing, doing a recaptcha. That's the kind of thing that I'd promote because, frankly, at the end of the day, if you can get you some free sats, then I'm all about it. And no ties down. You don't have to. There we go. That's my little rolling the dice right there. Free sats every hour. You're doing that for a year, 2 years, 3 years. I mean, it adds up. And that's the kind of thing I'd promote. But as far as like, you can earn this much with it, I've never. People come and ask me questions about how much can you earn? How much, I'm like, listen, I don't do that. I can tell you how to play the game. I can tell you how the fundamentals are working around in the game, but I'm not going to ROI boy you because I'm not an ROI boy. And at the end of the day, for better or for worse, you know what I mean? That's just not what I do.
So, other than Gala, man, so what's that other game that you're playing in the background?
This is Moonville. So
who makes Moonville?
I thought it was Myria, but someone corrected me about that. It's some other company, Life Block or Life something. Let's see. They used to say it on their website. I thought it was made by Myria. They're saying it's not, but it's being promoted by Myria. The game is literally a Townstar clone, like identical. So let's do something real quick. We'll show what I mean. If I come into Townstar, right, I'm gonna have to demo this tree for a second. Not a big deal. If I come in here to the shop, right, bakery starts with a B, correct? Cakery starts with a C, right? So alphabetical order. All these items are in alphabetical order, right? If I come over here to Moonville, I'm gonna close that out. Star Hut and Stardust Shop. Sunwind Collector, Moon Fiber. This is not in alphabetical order. This is in Town Star order. So this is the bakery. This is the cakery. So, yeah.
So
this
it's just a straight claim then. So do they have their own? Do they have their own NFT? Like they've got their own NFTs, but do they have their own token and stuff behind it, or like what's the earning mechanism?
So right now, you can play for ergons, and to do that, you've got to earn trophies the same way Town Stars Play to Earn was. You had to earn trophies, right? And you get it by doing selling things every day. That's your daily reward. And then you get rewarded ergons. So ergons are supposed to be converted to their moon token. Don't know when that's going to be, if that's ever going to be. I have no clue. But I started making videos about this just because it was, I mean, it's identical to Town Star. So it was quite easy to come over and start making content about it because it's the same thing. So I don't know what their plans are. I can tell you that from a development standpoint, they have been much faster at putting out fixes and working on bugs and rectifying those kind of issues than Gala's ever been. So from that, there's a positive side, right? They've had like 4 major updates in the past like 3 months or 4 months. Like they've been putting out updates pretty consistently. So in that sense, it inspires confidence. But at the same time, you know, I want to know how they're getting away with this just absolute direct copy. You know what I mean? Like it's blatant. But yeah,
I guess I don't just because the visuals are different, man. But that's probably how they're doing it mostly.
I guess. I don't know, but I mean, it's something I'll make videos about because it's close to Town Star and you know, help explain to people how to get to gas production in this game, which isn't gas. It's called light shards. So you know that's not gasoline. That's different.
It's coming up 50 FPS, man, but it looks pretty choppy still, like when you're moving around on the screen.
Yeah, so this is all server side, right? And I mean, I don't think your FPS are dependent though on your output. I've never really seen it super low on the FPS, but that being said, there's still some bugs. Like right here, I just put this pond down. Mm-hmm. Okay, and it used to not give you the water that was supposed to go there. Also, it's not water; it's moon drops. So yeah.
So we went to the negative a little bit with Town Star, man. So what would be some positive things that you like about Town? Because obviously you like it enough to still play the game. So
it's one of those. I've discovered myself. I enjoy resource management games. So where you're constantly having to do calculations and I just changed this and now that affected that. Problems like small, minute, repetitive problem solving over and over again. I think that's what attracts me to it the most. It's fun in that sense. I enjoy coming in here and like I'll be about to leave for class and I'll just jump on and I'll get hooked and I'm like, okay, I got to build this, I got to build that. Like it's just I've come to love it so much, and it's something I genuinely just like doing. I have been very negative, but I've been negative because I care so much about it and I want to see it succeed. I would love to see it become a piece of what Farmville used to have. Like I would love to be able to have people I know in real life playing this game, and then we bicker back and forth about how much better they're doing than me or vice versa, right? And I think it has that potential. It's a game people tell me they just put on and they play for a couple hours and it's like a way to unwind or relax. It's almost soothing or therapy in some way. Again, these little tiny small decisions.
Yeah, what stage is the game in now? It's in beta, isn't it? Like an open beta.
It's been beta for 3 years now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we've been saying that it's in beta, man. Like I play Star Citizen, and I think that's been in beta for like 10 years. Like I don't.
And again, I ask you, how is Star Citizen compared to this as far as fit and finish and polish?
I don't know, man. It's hard to say because Star Citizen's got a lot of glitches in it. But as far as like graphics and stuff and like the space exploration, like it's just a complete different game. You know what I mean? It's hard to compare it.
Like, look, this used to not be an issue with like tiles missing. They fix one bug and another bug appears. Like there's just a hole in the map, basically.
Do you think they're mostly focused on 2.0? Like they're just not really doing much with this version, and then they're going to come out?
You would think that. But then they're constantly putting out new stuff in here right now. So, it's like, which one is it? And that's what I'm saying is they clearly aren't fully focused on 2.0, which in my opinion they should be, because they're still pumping out FTs for this. They're still they added in wizards and Santa Claus and elves and stuff. It's like, that's cool and all, and that'd have been great last year when everything was great in the game. But now you're openly admitting that there's a problem to the point where you have to just start over. So why aren't we focused on that? And the answer is simple, so that they can keep selling FTs.
So when they come out the new version 2.0, man, if they end up blowing it out of the park, then what's your opinion going to be? Because
I would be more than ecstatic if Townstar 2.0 brings back what Townstar 1.0 had in its payday. And if it's better, I will say so. If I don't think it's better, I'm going to say so. I am not here to blow smoke up anybody's ass, but I would love nothing more than for this to be extremely popular again. I enjoy helping teach people about it because it's something I enjoy doing, and it's fun. I enjoy playing. I can't, in good faith, say, oh, they've done a great job. They haven't. They've done a terrible job. But listen, I made a Townstar is Dead video, and I'm willing to make once Townstar 2.0 comes out and it's fucking amazing. Guess what? First video you're going to see from me is I was wrong. I'm not man enough. I'm man enough to admit when I'm wrong, and I will gladly admit that I was wrong. But I'm not holding my breath.
I don't see them giving up on it, to be honest, man. I think they'll probably end up eventually like knocking it out of the park. You know what I mean? Like it's one of those things. Like even with spider tanks, that's more my sort of gameplay. And there's things that I really like, and there's things that I don't. Like they wanted to sort of open it up, like release it as an open beta, and then the community sort of got upset and wanted a full release game. Right. So I sort of still consider the game itself being an open beta. Like the rental mechanism, I think is pretty good. I'm pretty sure they originally said it would be like 50% for the pilot, 50% for the tank owner, and I don't feel like it is that way. I think they've like put it more in the direction of the person renting the tank as far as earnings, because it's going to drag more people into the game because they can earn more. So that sort of makes sense. I think if they do the same sort of thing with Townstar, as far as like renting out stuff, I think that will make a lot of difference as well. Because it's going to bring a lot of people.
We were promised rental already, Glitch. We were promised rental in December at Gallagher's. Yeah. And that got put on the back burner.
Hopefully it comes out in 2.0. Because if they can get it to work for spider tanks, there's no reason why they couldn't get it to work for Townstar.
100%. I'd be all about it, man. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, the goal was for me to be able to rent out my NFTs to people in lower income situations around the world, have them play this video game, and earn money that they could live off of, or at least a life-changing amount, And I still have that dream, whether it's because I somehow, find a way to help that happen with getting that Ridge Wallet sponsorship for, just keep being me and somehow it takes off, I don't know, but I still, at the end of the day, my goal is to keep helping people. So
well, as far as I can
whatever
tell,
way, shape, or form I can.
Your account's probably the biggest one I've seen as far as Townstar and YouTube and stuff like that. So you're liked by the people, man. Like if I could say something that I don't like about Gala itself, not to like create FUD or anything else, because I don't think it is FUD. I think that it's okay for the community to have an opinion that doesn't fit the opinion of Gala Games itself, And I think if you've got a good product, you shouldn't have to try to convince someone to have to buy it. If the product's good, it will sell itself. So if you've got people in the community that are upset with something in a game, well, what else do you expect them to be when they've put their hard-earned money and time into the game when they could have been doing something else? So, like, I think there needs to be a lot more, openness as far as the community can say something that's not accepted by, the Gala Reds or whoever else is in there, and for them to actually be able to defend their position, because that's how you're going to build like a strong community, is by being open and saying, look, if we've fucked up, which I think they've done most of the time, they've said, look, we've fucked up. This is what we're going to do to try to fix it. But at the same time, you can't just ban everyone or push everyone away that doesn't just want to get on the bandwagon and say, oh yeah, glory to Gala. Like, it's not a good environment, man. Like, if you can't speak openly, to me, it's almost hostile.
Yep. I think you hit the nail on the head, man. I understand that this is their Discord and they are allowed to run it how they see fit. But the problem is that's the only place to get information. So if you don't fall in line with what they want to be said, then you get banned. And let's toot my little horn for a second. Some consider me still Mr. Townstar. I don't know, but at least in my heyday, I was Mr. Townstar. And the CEO of the company banned me from all Discords, including Gala Music, Gala Film, right? I got banned from all of them because he didn't like a video I made on YouTube, mind you. I didn't say anything in the Discord. It was on YouTube, and I was banned for that. And I feel like that's the point. It's not about me. I don't care that it was me. I care that could happen to anybody for saying something on YouTube. It's Discord. They're two different things. Are we not allowed to say what we want on YouTube? Apparently not, right? And then now we've got all these YouTube and Twitter accounts and all these guys, which again, I don't judge for people that are, willing to take a paycheck and make some content. By all means, do you. But I ask you and your audience, Glitch, did you ever buy Wrangler jeans because Brett Favre wore them? I didn't.
I don't even know who that is.
Okay. Well, a really famous football player, American football, one of the best quarterbacks of all time, has done commercials for products such as like the copper socks and copper elbow things and Wrangler jeans and all that. And I just ask, have you ever bought a product because you saw someone who was popular or rich tell you to buy them?
I personally don't, but I know a lot of people that do. So it's one of those things.
And I do too, right?
Yeah. So I'm not really a fashionable sort of person, man, as you can tell. So I don't really, watch mainstream news.
Okay. No.
Like I literally got a SpongeBob shirt on, man, because my son likes me wearing it on stream.
You have taste, my friend. You have taste. I guess my point is, I don't judge those that are on the payroll now and that are taking checks to go promote Gala. My concern is people are getting that side of it, and I just want to make sure that they are aware of all sides, right? The positive and the negative. And, it happens. Gala's created a wonderful echo chamber for themselves. And the problem with echo chambers is you just keep hearing the same things over and over again, right? You only hear what you want to hear. And sometimes that's great and sometimes it's not. So I don't want my channel to become a shit on Gala channel, but I'm not going to. If I find out something, I'm going to talk about it. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna stick up for I don't know what's happened between the Gala devs or whoever else and yourself, because I wasn't there to see it. And I'm sure if there's people in the community that think that what you're saying or what they've done is dishonest or whatever it is, well then they'll say what they want to say. But at the end of the day, man, in a global community and you're dealing with so many different personalities, people have difference of opinion, man, difference of personality. Like I could talk to someone that's, in Europe somewhere that comes across to me culturally as being rude, but yet being an Australian and we like to swear a lot, I could say something like, oh, fuck off, mate. You know what I mean? Like, some people might be offended to that a lot more than like we say that all just in general conversation. You know what I mean? So like, I think having that sort of community and all the rest of it, like, you need to really be open-minded and have people that are willing to actually ask questions like, why do you feel that way? Instead of just going, oh, you're not allowed to say that, and then delete your post. And then you essentially get attacked by the rest of the community. So like me personally, I don't go on really the Gala Discord much at all. I don't really have the time. And if I do have time, I'm mostly in the Gravy Gang Guild. So I don't really know too much what goes on there. But like what you're saying isn't something that, it's not the first time I've heard it. It's probably maybe the 20th or 30th time that I've heard it. And like someone might even say a joke and it's not taken in jest, and they essentially get banned for a week or 24 hours or whatever it is that they decide to give.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, I'm with you. When I got banned, I made my videos about it and I said my piece. And frankly, I have my own Discord server as well, and it was almost a weight lifted off my shoulder that I didn't have to worry about the Gala Discord anymore. I could just go focus on my community and stuff. And at the end of the day, some people don't have a problem with that, and that's fine. I mean, I'm not here to change anyone's mind. I'm merely here to present the information that I have in front of me, So it is, I think there are enough intellectual human beings in the world to allow them the chance to make the decision themselves. And that's really all I care about, is that at the end of the day that I present myself in a way that I'm comfortable with, that I say what I needed to say, and can I live with that, right? Because at the end of the day, camera turns off, I got to stare myself in the mirror, right? So I'm still happy with what's going on. So I'm I've kind of put that. I get asked about, am I going to get back on the Discord or not all the time, and it's like, probably not, unless Benefactor has a Scrooge moment where he gets visited by past, present, and future ghosts. I don't think I'm getting back in. So it's all good though. So you got your Gravy Gang. Are you part of? Are you the founder of Gravy Gang or what?
Well, there's four of us. So there's myself, Euclid, and then Oaks, and then my wife. So we're the ones that originally started it. We actually did have another member as well, but she's not with us anymore. But yeah, like that's pretty much what it is, man. We just started it as a joke, like thinking that it'd be funny saying "gravy baby" after you kill someone, pretty much in Miranda's. And then it just turned into Gravy Gang Guild, and we've been around ever since.
That's awesome.
But honestly, man, I think like if someone from Gala sat down and had actually spoke to you instead of just, giving you a ban and then essentially ghosting you, I think that probably would have made a lot of difference to yourself as well. Because, like at the end of the day, man, we're based on emotion. And once someone riles you up the way that you've been riled up, and, like maybe they feel the same way, but, that's just going to create more animosity. So, my opinion would be that someone from Gala that's not just a moderator reaches out to you and actually says, how can we fix this together? Because in my opinion, that would be more beneficial to the whole community. You seem reasonable, man. I couldn't see someone coming over and saying, look, we want to fix this. And then you just been like, fuck off. Like, I don't.
No. I would be willing to have an audience. The problem is it wasn't a moderator that banned me.
Yeah, I get that, man. But
it's who banned me. So I don't think anybody can talk to Benefactor. And Bitbender said this in his recent interview with the Crypto Vegas guys, by the way, shout out to them, that he's always right. And that's his attitude, is that he's always right. And he usually is always right. So if that's the mentality that he's got, it doesn't bode well for, peace treaties, which is fine. I'm not the CEO of a multi-billion-dollar company. Just a guy that lives his life humbly with a camera that he sometimes talks to and has a mustache. You know what I mean? So
to be fair though, man, he could have been having a bad day. But we've all had bad days, man.
You know, you would give him that benefit of the doubt, Glitch, but how many times do you need to see the same behaviors before you realize this is just kind of how the person is?
Well, I've never, like I said,
once,
man,
shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me.
Personally, I've never seen benefactor being anyone personally. Like, I've seen a lot of red names give people timeouts and stuff, and I've had other people in the Gravy Gang Guild say that they had a ban or whatever. But like, personally, man, like, I haven't seen him do it directly. But like, the red names seem to be pretty on it anyway, and the moderators, as far as what direction of conversation, like a conversation's going in the Discord. So they seem to be pretty good at directing it.
Here's the problem, right? It's still an echo chamber at the end of the day, and we've got to tread lightly should you choose to tread there. And I don't think anyone should have to worry about that. Like, obviously, if you're being a complete and total asshole, or, great example. In America, we have the freedom of speech, right? We have the First Amendment. And the only caveat to it is that you can't have a call to action. So I can tell you to go, F yourself, right, Glitch? I can just wall off and just be a complete and total jerk. But that's covered because I'm just expressing my opinion. If I say I want everybody in my guild to go punch Glitch in the face, that's a call to action. That's not covered by freedom of speech, right? There's a line there. And as long as you're not in the Discord being a complete and total jerk or inciting some sort of violence or some sort of infringement on someone else's rights, I feel like you should be able to say it. But again, the problem is this is Gala's Discord, and they're allowed to run it however they see fit. And unfortunately, I think most people don't like the way that they're running it, but they're also too afraid to speak out because they don't want to get the axe themselves, which I get it. Double-edged sword, if you will. But like I said, I got banned. I made 2 videos about it. I made the first video, which got me banned, and I made the follow-up video talking about the ban. And I think most logical, reasonable people that watch those will realize that someone, not me, made a knee-jerk reaction, and they were wrong. But as I've before alluded to, when someone's always not wrong, and I say that, by the way, Glitch, as someone who lost a relationship with the woman that I was actually planning on marrying, mind you, because of that mentality. So I speak as someone who's got the experience of, I used to think like that and act that way, and it didn't work out for me. Now, again, I'm not the CEO of a multi-billion-dollar crypto company, but I also think that most organizations, companies, groups, teams, it's all about leadership, and then it filters its way down. So if you have the person in charge, the leader, manager, whatever, their attitude, the way they treat their employees, their friends, the people below them, that trickles down through the management layers. So if you've got someone that's abrasive and knee-jerkish, 9 times out of 10, that's going to filter down to the moderators and the people in the neck. Like that's just how it is. It puts an atmosphere out there, and I don't always think that's conducive to positive change and helping people. But it is what it is, I suppose. I mean, I'm just a guy, right? What do I know about YouTube or Discord politics, right? But at the end of the day, I'm willing to listen and talk to whomever, and I'm not holding my breath for that bridge to ever be unburned. But
well, that's fair enough, man.
Here we are.
Well, I want to thank you anyway, man.
To talk to you, Glitch. I'm good, man.
Yeah, I want to thank you for coming on today anyway, man. And you filled in last minute because I did have another guest that was meant to be on. But, yeah, they said that they're having camera issues. And then I reached out to you and you were willing to jump on straight away. So thanks for doing that, man.
Not a problem.
And if you don't mind, because we're hitting around the hour mark now, I'll stop the podcast and stick around for 5-10 minutes after, if you don't mind.
Absolutely.
Well, thanks for coming on, man.